And we are live.
Right. Hello and welcome, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Flamingo. I'm here today with the Kimmerson Show.
Hello again.
Can you guys hear us?
What does the silence mean?
Okay.
Well, hopefully you can at least.
Today we're going to be showcasing Fire Emblem Cipher, the trading card game, and how it's played. So for those who are unfamiliar with Cipher, sorry. So for those who are unfamiliar with Cipher, it's a Japan-only game that was released alongside Fire Emblem Fates back on June 25th in 2015. The trading game itself has unfortunately been discontinued since April of 2020, but it has a total of 22 expansion packs that covers all the mainline Fire Emblem games up until Three Houses, and the spin-off games of Fire Emblem Warriors, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and Heroes. Cipher also introduced original characters such as Emma, Shade, Yuzu, Randall, Alice, Valjean, Neve, and Poe. So Emma, Shade, Yuzu, and Randall are actually like DLC playable characters in Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia's DLC. And the game also includes original characters from the Fire Emblem Binding Blades manga spinoff. Oh, you don't have? Okay. We were trying to find the cards just now, but we don't have it on hand at the moment.
Which card?
The Fire Emblem Binding Blades spinoff manga. The manga cards. They actually have their own cards.
I think I've seen that. I don't think I have it myself though.
That's okay.
They're stuck in the elite pile, so
we have a whole pile. I think it's buried under there. We're not gonna take it out. All right, let's see. So the card games includes gameplay mechanics that we're all familiar with in the main Fire Emblem games, such as critical hits and class changes. Someone is calling me. So each Fire Emblem title has their own frame colors. So for example, Arcanea and Valentia, they share a red frame. Do you want?
Hold on. Yes.
So this would be like the Arcanea. We don't have the Valentia decks on hand, but they share the same color frame.
I mean, we still have. Give me 1 second. There is this Emma card, which kind of represents her appearance in Shadows of Valentia.
And then let's see. Ulysses is represented with a dark blue frame. Yep, the promoted chrome is gold, so we can't really see it. And then let's see. For Fates, they actually have three. Let's see. Yeah, they actually have two sets of frames. There's a black frame for Nor and a white frame for Hoshido. And there is also a version where it actually includes Revelations, where they kind of split in half with the Hoshiden and Nor frame.
Okay, that's not the one I wanted to use, but yeah, Felicia.
So Felicia would be a good example. Let me see if I can put up in the camera. So she is a good example of having basically both Hoshiden and Nord frames. Right. Just go ahead. And let's see and then for Tokyo Mirage Sessions, because it combines both Arcanea and Awakening, they share. They can either have either red frames or blue frames. I think Kimmerson's going to bring that out for us right now to show it off.
In a hot second. My goodness. Yeah, there you go.
So right here.
See, so this counts as either a blue character or a red character, depending on how you use it during the battle.
And then alongside each the card color, each Fire Emblem title has their own symbol, which can affect on how the decks are built, along with the gameplay in terms of deployment, class change, level up, and certain skill activation. So when it comes to building a deck, every set must include a leader character, and which can be any character you like. So you can literally have a deck based on words. Wrist, sorry, the healer. Do you have the wrist card?
No.
It's okay. There's this one wrist card where he was a sword master?
It's Fallen Wrists. It's a beautiful card.
Yeah, wrist card.
It's so cool.
If you want to, you can make a deck based off of him. But for today's showcase that we're gonna do, our decks, we actually built our own sample decks based on Marth and Chrom respectively. Alright, so Kimmerson is more well versed on especially the play areas of it, so I'll let him take it from here on how the play mat works.
Okay. So thank you, Flamingo. So basically to kind of before we even like get into like the sample game, I need to like explain like where cards go in the first place. This is your your battlefield. This big area. This is the main battlefield. This big area, and it's split into two halves. The upper half is the front line, and the backhand is the back line. And this is important because just like in the video game, cards units in Fire Emblem Cipher have effective ranges of combat. So, for example, if I could bring Crom out here again, um, you'll see if you look at the. Let me see if I have like a pointer or something. I should have really prepared this before. That's fine. Spin will work. Actually, what's it? Yeah. So like you'll see this number here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a number one. This means that Crom can only really interact with do combat with units if they are quite literally in front of him. But if Crom is in the if say like Crom is in the back line and there's a on your opponent's field, there's a unit on their front line, that's considered two spaces. So like how you can use range attacks with normal swords, Crom can't reach that kind of unit. Um, and so that's where all your combat happens. Here is your deck area, pretty self-explanatory. In the game, you have decks. You can build decks with a minimum of 50 cards, which is kind of different from other card games. Normally, card games kind of stick you to either 50, 60, whatever the number is, like, and that's a hard cap. But Cipher has the unique condition of technically there's no upper limit for cards, so you can go as high as like 70, 80, 90, 100. You necessarily wouldn't want to do that because that means you will never see the cards you want to see, but hey, it's funny, you can do it. I had to stop Flamingo from making a deck of like 80 Edward cards. So that's an option. So your deck will go here, and then when the game starts, you actually put down a card, what's called a marker card. And like Flamingo mentioned, you can build decks around any character in the game. So even like healers like Riss, like we were half joking, but you legitimately can make a deck around him. So in order to differentiate them from the other units you're going to play on the battlefield, you need this main character card. So for this deck, its main character will be Crom, so that's why he's always kind of just has this card underneath him. And then the objective of the game is to diminish your opponent's orbs. So which is your life pretty much. So then you would take like the 5 top cards from your deck and you put them like here. And this is basically like your win condition for the game is to knock out your opponent's main character's HP via these orbs. And there are 5 orbs to represent the 5 different actual orbs on the Fire Emblem itself, which is pretty neat. And so you're doing combat, and when you do combat, actually before even that, you need to have resources to even bring out the character in the first place. So then you would take cards from your hand, put them in what's called the bond area, and this is your resource. If you're familiar with other card games, it's like Mana and Magic, it's Dawn and One Piece, it's Energy and Pokemon, that kind of stuff. So in Fire Emblem, you take any character card and put them in the bonds, and this will let you play out units. Lastly, what's it? The area above the support, below the support is called the retreat area. In Fire Emblem, characters are knocked out, get sent to the retreat area, and then the area above the deck is called the support area. And this is very unique to Fire Emblem. Kind of also in Vanguard too, from what I've heard, is when characters are doing combat. Normally, you have 2 sets of numbers that you need to look out for. If I could get the camera to focus. This big number on the left of the card is the attack power. So this is just what you're going to be attacking, defending with. The card on the left,
right?
Sorry, the number on the right is called the support power. So what this means is when, let's say, Crom wants to do combat with Marth right here, they both start out the battle with 40 power. So then, in order for combat to happen, when combat happens, each player takes the top card from their deck and puts it in the support area. So, for example, we play this card down. So then the powers on the left side of the main combatants is added up with the power of the support of the cards you drew from your deck. So, in this case, Crom got a buff of plus 20 thanks to Lisa being the support card. So the attack power is 60. Meanwhile, Marth over here got an attack power of 50 because this King card only has 10 support power. So 60 to 50, Crom would knock out Marth in this case. Now, if Marth was not a main character, he just leaves the battlefield. But if in this game case of like this demo, Marth is the main character, so that means that once you Marth takes like the loses the battle, you take one of your life cards and you add it to your hand. And the objective of the game is to do battle with your main characters until one of you has zero orbs left, and then once you reach that condition, then the main character who has 0 orbs, if they lose one more time, that's game for them. So that's kind of like your objective in Fire Emblem Cipher. Whoops. And so, all right, I think hopefully that did like a decent job of explaining like how this flows. But truth be told, like just like in any other card game, just talking about the rules is kind of a little overwhelming. And there's also like a lot more details that I haven't even covered yet or even touched. So when me and Flamingo play the demo game, I hopefully like it'll make more sense on how like the game flows. Also due to this is the size of a normal like field that a player would have, but due to our setup, we don't exactly have unfortunately we don't have the room to cover like 2 whole playmats. So instead we're going to do a baby version of the game, or like a bridge version where technically there's no limit on how many units you get to play on the battlefield, but for the sake of the demo, we're going to stick it to like 2 units on the front line and the back line just to keep it simple. And also, unlike the 5 orbs I mentioned, we're going to only play with 3 orbs, so it goes faster, quite simply.
Because the game itself, like a match, it can last between like 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Depending on how much you want to be a menace.
Depending on your strat, if you want to be toxic or not is also a big factor. So we'll be playing on this beautiful playmat here. Oh yeah. Okay. Is there anything else to know before we start?
No, we're just gonna set up our decks. But does anyone have questions though so far? Because if not, we're just gonna go ahead and just like begin our setup, and then for the first 2 rounds, like our turns, we're just gonna like briefly explain the mechanics of some of the cards. Thankfully, the Arcanea and Ulysses deck are pretty simple. Other decks, such as like Sacred Stones, the Tellius decks, those are a little bit more like not complicated, but they do require more strategy since they have their own like gimmicks. Same thing with Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
So, Manatiki asks in the panel room chat, can you pick any card as the main character?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's very honestly the best part about this game for me is that you can choose literally like your favorite characters, and it's like, oh, I don't care if they're meta or they're the best unit. They're my favorite. I want to make them work.
Mm-hmm.
It's excellent in my opinion.
Wait, can't you make the Sacred Stones monsters the main character?
Yes, I don't necessarily recommend that. There is actually a caveat though I should mention. So, one of the conditions to making a character your main character, or making a deck your main character, is they need to have a deployment cost of 1, which if the camera will zoom in or focus at least, there you go. This is the deployment cost, which, like I mentioned, when you play your bonds down, you use those bonds and use the set amount of bonds here to bring out those units. You need to start the game out with a unit that's like level 1, essentially. Think about it like that. It's kind of like, you wouldn't necessarily start the game out with like a Great Lord right out of the bat, you know?
Yeah, they gotta promote along the way.
Yeah, you gotta promote them. You gotta make them stronger.
Our bonds give us strength.
Our bonds give us strength. Win to the back. I think that's what Crom says.
Oh my god, are you actually a Farm fan?
I'm a fake fan. No.
He's the wind to your back and the sword by his side.
I don't care.
Wow, that support really meant nothing to you, huh?
Listen, I did my best to avoid Crom. I didn't want to fall in the trap of getting married to him, unfortunately. Yeah. So that tomfoolery aside, do you have any other questions before we start?
The only other thing that I could think of is Cipher is really interesting, and not only the fact that it has it's playing cards, but it also has like they made a bunch of merch for Cipher or based off Cipher. There's like towels, there's shirts, there's playmats, sleeves, there's just a whole bunch. It's insane. Like, I have a handful of the t-shirts, and I love them. They're, like, my favorite things. I'm wearing one right now, actually.
Excellent.
What was it? Do you want to tell me about the Winter Comic?
Oh yeah. I mean, hold on. Maybe I could fish it out while you explain.
Yeah. So really quick, since like our match should be like pretty short, so we should have enough time. So Kimberson and I actually went to like Japan a few years ago, and we went to Comic-Con, like Japan's version of like Comic-Con, and Fire and Cipher actually had a booth, and we
What?
each bought like a box. Yeah.
That's insane.
So I'm seeing Kimberson can bring out his box right now. He bought more boxes than I did because I did not have room in my luggage. Let me see. But it came with like I believe it came with like a promotion card. I think the year that we went, there was a promotional holiday Lilina card
Oh, okay.
that
I think I know which one you're
it's
talking
really
about.
really cute.
Oh yeah.
It was like yeah, I don't have it with me, but let me see if Kimberson has it.
Not the one we went to.
Oh, you have a different box?
I have a different box. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a later box.
But it will look exactly like this box that we're gonna show it off right here.
Yeah. So like, and when I say box, I mean like a box. Like this is like full on like.
Yeah, the Comic Cat boxes. I know those.
It's just, it's
These
like a
things
full-on
can get
box.
expensive. These things can get pricey.
They can, yeah. Like I haven't been able to find ever since the game ended. Like I haven't been able to find a box that's under like 300, 400 USD. It's like kind of insane. So like usually the box comes with like a fun little calendar. Oh, 2020, the year just that was a fun year.
Oh, it's the Come Hither Guard. Sorry, that's what I call her. Come Hither Guard.
Hither Guard. But yeah, it comes. It's actually kind of cool. Like these cards are actually like they're like calendar cards, which is neat. And then another one of my favorite merch that they have. If I, oh my goodness, if I can take it out.
Just take out the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's taped. It's taped down. I can't, or it's glued down rather. Okay, it's a little hard to tell, but this is like a little acrylics mini. How do you even call it? Like
acrylic block.
Acrylic block. That's the word. Usually it features like the cipher, like the promotion cipher card mentioned in the box, and then actually as you can see here, but in like kind of like a cool like kind of 3D like block effect, which is nice. What else does this come with? It's been a while since I opened this. Oh, wait.
We can probably show this off after a match.
I guess so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, more to the point, just want to show the
Cipher was huge.
Oh yeah.
Cipher was huge. Asterix in Japan only. Surely one of my when the game was active, one of my like wishes, like Nintendo, just give me this one thing, just bring Cipher to the West, and they said no. So I'm very sad about that.
So
there
we're relying
was
on, like,
one question in Twitch. I recall there are Cipher exclusive characters in this game, correct? Ones who also became playable as Shadows of Valentia. How good are they to use?
Oh, that's a good question. So, Flamingo actually has it now. This is like chibi versions of the characters that she mentioned. All four of these are playable in the DLC for Valentia. In terms of usage, okay, let's see. I mean, what's it? The cool thing about them is that you actually, because their whole, how should I say? Like their role in Cipher was very similar to almost like Alphonse and Sharina and the Order of Heroes in Fire Emblem Heroes, where it's like they would kind of go around to like different Fire Emblem worlds. So, for example, that's why like Emma, who is originally from Hoshido, she's a Pegasus Knight from Hoshido, but she kind of just joins this like dimension hopping escapades with Shade and the rest of the gang, where eventually she makes her way. So these different borders kind of indicate what game that like they're residing in at the moment. So this kind of like this light bluish border is representing heroes, and this what's it? And then the dark blue is Yelise, and then this yellow one is Yggdrasil. And then also another one. This is, I believe, I want to say this is Valentia, I suppose, right?
Yeah, this should be Valentia.
Yeah, because I don't think she ever went to Arcanea. But yeah, so in terms of usage, though, that's a good question. I personally haven't experimented and tried building a deck around them necessarily. I imagine it's very. I imagine it's probably tougher than, because despite what I said of like every character can have a deck build, there definitely are preferences, just like in the video game itself, where like typically if they design it correctly, your lord should be like one of your stronger characters. So that kind of preference also does exist in Cipher, but with good strategy and good gameplay, you can make any character work, despite me saying that.
Even Fallen Risk.
Even Fallen Risk, yeah. I think from what I saw from the competitive scene in Cipher, because there was a competitive scene not only in Japan but also in like South America too. Eventually the game just kind of revolved around like filling your deck with as much strong support attacks as possible. Like I mentioned earlier, with the secondary number on the right side of the card, typically, so the values range from 10, 20, and 30. 30 being the most. 30 is usually assigned to Pegasus Knights and flyer units in general. So they kind of balance that by saying like the actual unit itself is not that strong, but when you have a support guard, it's like the most power you can have in the game support wise. So eventually the game kind of just as the game went on, really the meta was like fill your deck with as much strong support as possible, so you don't get unlucky with bad supports, and so just in a way, I guess they were just like manipulating the RNG in that way. But yeah, I think that should be it, right?
Yeah, we can probably get started on our match now.
Yep. Okay. So deck here, main characters. Technically, when a game starts, you're actually supposed to flip the character down like this.
Oh, is it like a surprise?
Well, because like think about like when you're in a tournament, if you see what unit that your opponent is fielding immediately, then you can immediately make a strategy in your head, like pre-gamer,
Yeah.
So like this is their way of being like, hey, keep it basically keep it a surprise. Yes. Okay. So then a game would start. We would flip our main characters over, and then we'll start the game by drawing 6 cards from the top of our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4, 5, 6.
6. Yep. Okay. Can you? Oh, sorry, just do that. Okay. And then, so in the game, you can what's called mulligan, which if you don't like your hand, you can just put it back, shuffle it up, and draw a new 6. For the sake of a demo, I think that's like the last thing we want to do, since we have this is like pre-constructed to follow a certain flow. So we're just gonna keep our hands. Next, we're gonna take the top 3 cards. Well, normally 5, but in the sake of the demo, it's 3. And then we're going to place them on our life or orbs right here. Let me just double check to make sure these are correct. Yep, we're all good to go. Okay, and then with that, I believe we can. Give me 1 second. I think. Okay, that's where I was at. Okay.
Obviously, in an actual gameplay, like it's all randomized. But for the sake of time and simplicity, like what Kimmerson said, this is actually like a pre-scripted like deck that we're using.
Yep. Okay. So and then our very first turns, we're going to kind of like explain each like phases of the turn, like what you do, like the steps of it essentially. So in order to start, I'm gonna go first, and the player who goes first in Fire Emblem doesn't draw a card, and they can't attack first. So to begin, I'm gonna start. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phases. Yeah, right. Yeah, 5 phases.
Yeah.
First is the beginning phase. All this is you take any unit that's been like that did actions previously, or in this case we call them tapped, and you just untap them, just bring them upright. And then normally in beginning phase I would also draw 1 card, but because I'm going first, I'm going to skip that because I can't. Next is bond phase. And like I mentioned, bond is the resource in this game. So you take a card from your hand and add it to the bottom of your area. So in this case, I am going to add this Sumio card. And from my hand, I'm going to place it as a bond down here. You lay it down sideways. In other card games, like usually there's a way to indicate you're using them. Like, oh, you tap it, you move it somewhere. But Cipher, I guess, has better faith in its players, where it's like, oh, just keep track. Like, just be aware. It's like, okay, so when we play stuff, then just trust that like we have the correct like number of that resource. So, for example, I'm going to use this Sumia bond that I just played, and I'm going to summon Cordelia. Whoops, I forgot there's a camera that I be aware of. Come on.
Are you putting in the front line, her on the front line or back line?
I will put her on the front line because I want to swing at you next turn.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so Cordelia's the front, but like I said earlier, the player who goes first cannot attack. So I will then. So this and by the way, so this is all during the deployment phase. You play your stuff, you do abilities. Next would be my action phase where I would attack you, but because I'm going first, again for the last time, can't. Then I will just enter my end phase, declare I end my turn, and I'm going to pass it off to Flamingo now.
Okay, so for on my turn, I'm going to draw one card, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to
You're good.
I'm going to deploy my cane into my bond here, and then next, because now I have a bond cost of 1, I'm going ahead, and I'm going to deploy Gordon, but on the back line. All right, and then because Gordon is an archer, he has 2 range. I can actually, and also on my turn, I can actually start attacking Kimmerson. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing with Gordon towards Cordelia.
Yeah, this camera's so okay. Okay, so in order to indicate that you're attacking, you take your unit and put it sideways to tap it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then so we're going to swing, and then we're going to go ahead and draw.
Draw. Yes. Okay.
So right here, so my attack is 30 plus Agma, which is 10.
And then Cordelia is being supported by Muriel here, who has a support strength of 20. So I would win this engagement with 40 going into 50,
but because because Gordon's an archer, he actually gets an attack bonus.
Yep. So he has his secondary skill, his secondary skill listed down here is called Anti-Flyer. And this is like not unique to Gordon. This is all archers in the game have this. If they're attacking a flying unit, which everyone in the chat knows that like Cordelia is a flyer, but in case that people are not familiar, the Cipher actually has a handy symbols on the side of the card to indicate like what the archetype and like of the unit is. So for example, this shows that Cordelia is a Ulyssean unit. She's female. She uses a lance, which is important because there are cards that pay attention to the weapon triangle too. And she's a flying horse unit, so Pegasus. So in this case, so Gordon gets an additional plus 30. So instead of 40 to 50, it's 70 to 50, in which case Cordelia goes down. So Cordelia goes straight to the retreat area like this. And all cards you use for support battle also go straight to the retreat area.
Okay, so and then after Gordon swings, I can still also attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Marth attack Crom.
Okay, so he taps. Then we play.
Right. So I have Marth supported by Tiki, so it'll be 20 plus 40.
And then Crom here is supported by Emberin, so it's 40 plus 20, so it's the power is equal now, so it's 60. In Cipher, if the attacker's power is equal to or greater than the defender, then the attacker wins. So in this case, it's 60 to 60. So Crom does actually lose this battle. So I will take one of my life cards or orbs and I'll add it to my hand. And there's an additional effect that Tiki enables, where if you'll pay attention to this kind of red box with the cross swords icon, this is called a attack emblem. So this only activates when you're attacking with this card. And so Tiki's skill is called Dragonkin Emblem, where Flamingo can take one of her cards from her hand and add it to her bond area additionally during the attack. So we're going to add this Lena card. Lena, right?
Lena, yeah.
Yep. To the support bond area. Okay. So then these go into our retreats.
Thank you. All right, and then I end my phase.
Okay. So all right, now it's my turn. Okay. So now it's now that it's no longer my turn 1, I could draw a card. And then let's see, add one card from my hand. So I'm gonna add this which actually I'll add this Inigo card from my hand to the bond area. So now I have 2 bonds to work with. So I could play either maybe a level 2 unit, or I can play 2 level 1 units instead. So I will use 1 bond to bring out Lucina to the front lines. And then I will bring out this Robin and put her in the back lines like this. Let's see what to do now. Okay. All right. So I'm going to declare attack. I'm going to take this Robin, who has the ability where if the player controlling her has less orbs than her opponent, then Robin gets plus 10. So instead of 30 attack, she actually has 40 attack. So I'm going to tap, swing at the Marth. Let's see. All right. I get, so this is 40, 20, 60, and
Let's see. 40 to 20, also 60.
so in this case, Marth loses the fight because his attack equals. So take a life 4.
Yep.
And then now I drew Nikki. Nikki? Oh my goodness!
Tiki? Or not Tiki, Naui.
I combined now Tiki to my brain. Now we hear.
What deck are we playing again?
I forget. You're gonna have to remind me, dude. Anyway, this Naui card here also has the same ability as Tiki because they are both Manakits. So she also has Dragonkin Emblem, and so that means I can add an additional bond, which in this case I will add this Olivia card to the bond area just for later usage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that aside, next, okay, so Crom now is going to attack Marth right here. So then we draw top card. Okay, so for Crom drew a male Robin this time as a support unit. So it's 40 to 20 and
Let's see. So 40 to 30. So 70. Yep.
So because it's 60 to 70, Crom attack fails in this case. Now that's unfortunate for me, but I can still do something. You can put that in retreat. So Robin, both female and males, since they're tacticians, they have their support emblem is called the Tactician's Emblem. And what this means is I could take a unit that I'm not directly attacking, and I can move their position on the battlefield. So in this case, even though this attack didn't go through, I'm going to make the most of it by basically yoinking Gordon to the front here, which is the last place where an archer wants to go. So because he's now vulnerable, because Gordon got shoved up to the front, you see here he has a range of 2 next to his attack power. So this means that he will not be able to attack my Crom or my Lucina. He can only attack my Robin. Now I will take advantage of the fact that Gordon is now in front of me by swinging at Gordon with Lucina. So I want to draw a card. Lucina got supported with this XL Crom here, so it's 40, 20, 60.
So for me, it's going to be 30 to 20, so 50.
So Gordon goes to the retreat area.
Yep.
Okay.
Just like on Fire Emblem, where it's best to attack archers up close.
Let's see. Okay. And I will declare my end phase. I have nothing left to do, and pass off to Flamingo.
All right. Back to my phase. I'm going to reset. So I'm going to have Marth back here. All right, let me just draw a card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Merrick to my bonds. So I think it's the same Merrick that you saw that was trying to help defend Gordon. All right. And then this time now, I can actually class change since I actually have enough bonds to do that.
Not that one, the other one. Put that there.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So right over here, so you know how you have the, if I can see. So the top is the main deployment cost, but then the bottom right here is actually the cost for the class change. Since I have 3 bonds on played on the field, I can actually class change my Marth into, I think this is the Lodestar class now?
Lodestar class.
Yep,
yes.
Lodestar class. So that's how class changing works in the game. It's just how many bonds you have deployed. And because I class change, I can go ahead and draw another card.
Yep.
All right. And then what I'm going to do now with my promoted Marth, I'm going to go ahead and swing at Crom.
Oh, that's scary.
Ready?
Tap the unit.
Oh, yeah, let me just tap that.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's fine. Okay.
Ready?
Yep. Okay.
So it's 70 plus the support, which for Lynn, which is 20. So it's 90.
And then Crom is being supported by covering his face, poor man. By Frederick here. So it's 60. So I definitely can defend that. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Yep. So I take another orb damage because I failed the battle.
All right, and then let's see. I don't have anything else really planned to deploy, so I'm going to go ahead and end my turn.
Okay. So back to my turn. So now that the Flamingo has promoted Marth into Lodestar, like just having 70 base power, like this, it's a lot harder for my 40 attack units to even do anything. So this is looking pretty bad, but I think I can work with this. So beginning phase, just draw a card. Let's see. I'm going to get an additional bond down here. So now I have 4 bonds. I'm going to spend 3 of them. Let's see. Where? I could have sworn I had the. Sure. I'm I'm going to spend three bonds to class change Crom to actually hold on. Yeah, no, don't worry about
That's
it.
your orb.
I will. So I class change, so I draw one card. Now I have a better shot because now it's same power level essentially. Okay. So I spent three because I did the class change cost of just three instead of the normal four. That means I have one bond left over. So in this case, I will be bringing out using my last bond to bring out Lisa. And then what's next? Okay, so now Crom is going to simply attack Marth. So then we're gonna do this. So it's now I'm being supported by let's see, the Robin here with plus 20. So 70 to 20 is 90.
And then Mars is being supported with Drog, where it's 70 to 10. But with
Defense Emblem.
yeah, with Defense Emblem, Drog gets an additional plus 20 support.
Yep.
So it's 30 in total.
Yep. So now instead of being 90 to 80, it's now 90 to 100. So this attack fails. Thanks to Drog's Defense Emblem. Whoops. Okay, so that didn't go quite the plan. That's fine. All right. So, but I'm going to use my remainder of my turn to activate Lisa's ability. And this is like pretty common in like amongst the healer types in Cipher. You tap the unit. And if you'll pay attention to this purple symbol, if the camera can focus, yeah. The purple symbol here has the number next to it, so that indicates how many orbs is required for this ability. So the purple symbol means take your bond cards and you flip them. So in this case, I'll tap Lisa, I'll flip two bond cards, and then this allows me to use the ability heal, which in Cipher means you just take a unit from your retreat area that as long as they're not the same name as the healer. So in this case, I'm going to grab this fancy Crom card from my retreat and add it to my hand for later usage. And then with that, I believe that's the end of my turn. So I'm going to start end phase, nothing left to do, and pass it off to Flamingo now.
Okay. And then from here, I think, was there any more explanation, or we can probably like...
I think we can continue.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my Ogma card right here into my bonds. Put this over.
Oh, on top first too.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and deploy...
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and deploy Kane to the front line.
And then
And then the next one I'm going to deploy is going to be this Lynn card, this nice shiny one. I'm going to put her in the back line since she is a mage after all. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use Mars' ability.
Prince of Light.
Yeah, Mars' ability, Prince of Light right down here. And I'm actually going to drag a unit to the front line, which in this case, I pick Robin.
Yep. So this ability basically, I guess just slide over. Yep, thanks. So the Prince of Light ability from this Morph card here, basically the condition you do this once per turn. It's when you deploy a character with a deployment cost of 2 or less on your side, you could forcibly take an enemy's backline unit and drag it to the front, like Flamingo just demonstrated. So because she fulfilled the conditions, now my Robin is more exposed to danger now. So thanks for that.
You're welcome. And right now, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start attacking. So, but I'm gonna actually take advantage of Lynn's ability. So I'm gonna flip Womban over and to activate Thunder for Lynn, which I believe right here is
plus 10.
She'll get plus 10 attack. So using that plus 10, I'm gonna go ahead and swing Lynn to Robin.
Okay, tap that. Yep. Okay, so battle. All right.
So Lynn's gonna be supported by Navarre, so it's gonna be 10 plus 30, but then she gets the additional 20.
So the bar here has the attacker emblem skill, so with the cross swords again. So because this is an attacking unit, instead of this 10, it gets plus 20. So it's kind of like the opposite of the Jog defense emblem we showed off earlier. So this is definitely a more aggressive card.
Mm-hmm.
So with the buff 2, so it's 40, 30, 70. Meanwhile, my Robin here, so she still has the plus 10 because now I'm at less life compared to Flamingo, but I unfortunately drew the same attack emblem with this Inigo here, except I'm not attacking, I'm defending. So unfortunately, I get stuck with a measly 10. So it's 70 to 50. So in that case, Robin does indeed go down. So if I can just yoink that.
Yep, and put everything to retreat. All right, and then next up, since I still have some some actions left, I'm gonna go ahead and have Kane swing at Lucina right over here.
Okay.
All right. So with Kane supporting by Abel, let me see. So it's 40 plus 10.
So and also Kane here has to kind of really demonstrate some of the unique relationships in Fire Emblem and into this card game, Kane here actually has the skill, the Red Green Bond, where if the card that is supporting him is specifically Abel, he gets plus 30 power. So already by himself, so with Abel now in the field, it's plus 30, so 70. Now on top of Abel here giving the attack emblem like before we saw before, so that it's additional plus 30. So this is straight up 100 damage heading towards Lucina right now, who once again I've been unlucky enough to draw another attack emblem. So now I've been stuck with 50. So this is 100 to 50. I'm pretty much like Lucina's pretty much gone unless I pull what's called an evasion, which what that means is I'll take in this game, there's a defensive action you could take where if you have a duplicate character or a duplicate card of that same character in your hand, you can discard them in order to avoid any sort of battle damage. So in this case, I have a spare Lucina card in my hand right here. So I will go ahead and discard it, send it to my retreat area to perform the evasion. Therefore, I am safe from this battle. So Lucina gets to still stay on the field.
All right, and then lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and have move this over for you.
Sure, thank you.
I will have Marth swing at Crom.
Okay. Whoop.
Whoop. And then here's the other unique thing. With the duplicate, I guess duplicate cards of the same character, you cannot support yourself. Yeah. So in this case, so normally it would be like 70 plus the 20, but because they're both Marths, it basically nullifies like my damage.
Yep.
So he does nothing.
So that means that Marth is only swinging with 70 base attack, whereas Crom, I was able to pull a Lisa. Normally this would be like pretty bad, just plus 10, but in this case, because Flamingo whiffed with the support, again, you can't support yourself. Therefore the power is 80, therefore Crom is safe for this battle.
It's not like Heroes where your team can actually support each other.
Having like 17 of the same character.
Yeah. All right, with all my actions taken, I'm gonna go ahead and end my turn.
Okay, beginning phase. Restand with my units. Okay. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead draw a card. Let's see. So now that I'm at 4 bonds, 2 of them are flipped over, and what this means is that when you flip over a bond in this game, so we've been playing with blue bonds over here and red bonds over here, but the moment you flip a card over, they become what's called colorless. So you can't use a colorless bond by itself to bring out units. You have to pair it up with an actually colored bond. So in this case, like these 2 by themselves, I can't really use, so I have to like at least attach 1 blue bond to them to make them all blue to use my normal summoning stuff. So in this case, I have 4 bonds. I don't really feel the need. So even though it's my bond phase, I can add a card from my hand to the bond, but you can opt out of it. So in this case, I will choose to do that. I draw a card. Wait, did I draw a card for the turn? I did not. Okay. Just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, I drew my card. Whoops. Okay. So next. So that being said, I'm going to attach. I'm going to use at least one of these blue bonds with my colorless for the cost of 3 to class change into this shiny Lucina. Oh, thank you, camera. That was pretty fast. Just put it down like this. So class change, draw 1 card, and then let's see. Yep. So now that I've class changed, Crom actually now I can use Crom's ability, which is Crom Shepherds. Which what's it? When you class change an ally, the turn that the ally is class changed and promoted, they get plus 20 power, and if they do damage to your opponent's main character, your opponent takes 2 orb damage instead of the normal 1. So now with an attack of 90, I think it's a good time to yeah, okay. Going to swing at Marth with 90. So then we'll do support. Okay. Oh. Wait, what's the cost? Hold on. I think it's sorry, some technical difficulties. I think it's supposed to be. That's where that was.
Why you okay? Never mind. All right, ready?
Yeah. Okay. So, oh no, a peek behind the scenes. This is bad. Anyway, so now that Lucina's 90, we have Cordelia here, who has, like I mentioned earlier, flyers have the best support in the game, so it's plus 30. So this is 120 towards
70 plus 10, so 80.
80.
Yeah.
So you definitely take that damage.
I take the damage. Yep.
Yep. So instead of the normal 1, you take both orbs as life. Okay. And then Oh, Gordon.
No, it's a Chrome.
I know, but like the support. Did I mess up with? Oh, it's supposed right. It's supposed to be
It's fine.
Okay, that's fine. So slot that. Okay, my bad. Okay, so let's see. Chrome. I think this should work, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So Chrome now is because Flamingo's at 0 life. I see that like I have a pretty good shot of ending the game now because I fulfill like the condition. Like if you go out one more time, that's it. So we're going to do support. So whoops. Good.
Yep.
Okay. So she's just nervous because she's going to lose.
Oh no, I'm shaking.
So we have Frederick here. He has an attack emblem like we discussed earlier. So this is plus 30. So 70, 30 is 100. Meanwhile,
because I know I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna go ahead and discard my duplicate Marth card right here, and I'm gonna have him dodge.
Yep. So she performs a dodge, and therefore she is safe. Let's see. Okay. And well, I mean that was all I really had planned. So now I'm gonna pass off to Flamingo.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and untap all my units back to normal. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a card.
Which one? The
Let's change game.
oh wait. Is he there? Yeah.
Okay, sorry. All right, I'm not gonna put any bonds since I think I have. I'm pretty confident I have enough. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead use 2 of my bonds to deploy and class change Kane to become a paladin, and then I'm gonna draw a card for that.
Yep. And then he should be there too.
All right. After drawing the card, I'm gonna go ahead now. I'm gonna deploy Abel to the back line behind him.
So that's kind of weird though, because Abel only has a range of 1. Why are you doing that?
Because Kane has the ability called the Red-Green Twin Strike. So once I tap Abel, I can give Kane a 40 attack.
Nani? Sonabagana!
So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and tap Kane with that bonus.
Wow.
And attack Crom.
That's 100 heading my way, huh?
Ready?
Okay. Well, so, that's Crom. Yep. That's a self support, all right.
That's Crom.
There he is. There's the boy. And you have how much?
30 support from Sita.
130 is crazy. All right, I'm gonna take that hit. Yep.
Alrighty, and then now I still have another action. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and have Marth attack Crom.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay. Let's see. So Crom is plus 20, so that's 90 to self.
To self?
So it's 70, so I'm safe.
Except
what?
I can use a duplicate card, so you know how I explained that you can use duplicate cards to dodge? You can also crit.
Oh! Yeah, so crit's a fun mechanic where if you discard a card, unlike dodging, when you're attacking and you do it, you get like a critical, well, sort of like a critical hit. You get you get double damage in this game. So, even though she's self-supported, this 70 all of a sudden became 140, and I think that is how the game ends. Good game. Fist bump. Yay!
Yay! So that pretty much concludes our sample match.
Doesn't feel great. No, but hopefully it was a bit like scuffy here and there, so our apologies for that. It's our very first time doing a panel, like in general about Cipher especially. But hopefully like this was able to give you like a short demonstration on how like the ebb and flow of the game and like the mechanics and all that good stuff.
And then I do notice we actually do have some time left, so
ooh, we get to show off our cards now.
Yeah, Bart, it's okay. We're gonna just like basically gonna showcase our personal decks that we actually built.
Yeah, in the meantime, there was one question earlier that I tried my best to answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, someone asked in the Twitch chat, how hard is it to get into financially and rules-wise? I know for a fact that financially it depends on the cards.
Yeah, that's unfortunately because this is like a game that like doesn't exist anymore. Unfortunately, for like 5 years now. Gameplay wise, I think it's pretty easy to get into, and there's also a lot of good online resources to play with like online even. No official app by Nintendo because why would they? But there are like tabletop. There's like tabletop simulator. There's a bunch of like other like card game simulators that like there's a dedicated fan base. Of like even to this day they're still playing. So that's so online it's pretty easy to get into, and also they did the community did like the Lord's work by translating every single card in the game. So
yeah, Cipher cards in English now. It's very nice.
physically, if you want to actually own these cards and play with them, Flamingo and I were lucky in that we bought boxes and cards while the game was still active, so it was relatively cheap. You know, like a booster box was like 50 USD after like conversion and whatnot.
Yeah.
The good old days.
But after the termination of the game, said boxes blew up in value because you know resale market. So now, especially if some of them aren't too bad, it's like it went from like 40, 50 to like 60, 70. I think that's like the Tokyo Mirage box, especially. But
Yeah, B04 is right now the cheapest set at the 70-ish USD based off of like the lowest price on eBay. The next is like B10, Well, I know for a fact B10's cheap-ish too. It's like 100-ish.
Yeah.
But like, for example, like the Three Houses boxes are like $450 USD plus the B11 as well, B09 as well. I specialize in boxes, so I kind of have prices memorized.
Yeah.
No, you nailed it though. Like it's just like
It's physically it's tough. So I do recommend people who want to give the game a shot to like find the online resources and just kind of like engage with those.
Yeah.
But yeah, gameplay wise, I think I play a few other card games. I think Cipher is definitely one of the easier ones to understand and get into. And I've gotten a bunch of like my other like Fire Emblem like fellow fans who they don't necessarily play card games, but because the Cipher does such a good job of translating the video game into a card format, it is pretty like, oh, okay, supports, I get that, like dual attacks from Awakening, you know? So
Yeah.
overall, I think hopefully that answers the question on both ends.
So one question that I had, or something that I tried to answer, I just want to make sure I was factually correct on, because I'm not 100% sure on this. So I know the highest rarity of cards is SR+. I cannot remember if each SR Plus card has a cheaper version that has the same effect. I think so.
I believe, are you talking about alt arts, I guess, in this case?
Yeah, like the highest rated SR pluses. I think the SRs have the exact same effect in the game.
So
yeah. So you're not like forced to buy SR pluses to play the game. You could play with SRs in the same card.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
That'd be ridiculous if like, oh no, the card's different, so you have to like get like the shell out for it.
Yeah, I was using the B19 SR plus Edelgard. I was like, I'm pretty sure you could just use SR Edelgard. You don't need the SR plus. It's like $450 of most expensive card in the game.
Yeah, but you know, us card game players, we want our decks to be as shiny as possible.
True.
So you know.
Yeah, but you don't have to. Is my point.
We love like shelling out stupid amounts of money for a shiny cardboard.
Tempest Mask asks, do you believe that the potential of Cipher could have gotten stronger if they kept things going? Such as including characters and cards from the latest things we've gotten since.
I'm gonna be very biased and say yes, because we could have gotten a Sami card.
Oh my god, if we got a Sami card, I would have cried.
We were robbed of both engaged cards and later like heroes cards.
Yeah.
You know,
to be fair though, they were supposed to stop at the 17th set. That was supposed to be the final one, but then they proceeded after because of Three Houses, so we got like an extra 5 sets. But like, I'm still under the belief that if it was released in the West, oh god, that would have made so much more money.
Oh, easy.
That would have been easy
like,
money.
easy money. I don't even know why they stopped. They should have just released it worldwide, see how it went for like even one set, would just have their jaws drop as it sells out. Like,
yes, especially after like Three Houses like did so well to like expand the franchise, like
exactly.
So
like Three Houses is the most best-selling game in the series, so why not capitalize that and push it out to worldwide audience for Cipher? Like, and look at these playmats; they are beautiful playmats. The sleeves look good. Like,
so good.
they could have done so much, but they decided to go with Faye. Not that I'm complaining, I like Faye, but
I know, yeah, truly,
they should have done both. So then people have an option. If they don't want to play Faye, they don't have to. They have the card game to keep up with. Like, that would have been like peak.
Yeah. Honestly. Okay.
And then again, we were robbed of a Sami card.
Right? Someone else asked, this is an important strategic question. What's the prettiest card in your decks?
Oh, we were actually going to show that, so that's a good question, honestly.
I'll show, well, let's see.
Here, I have mine out first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, one of my favorite decks to play is the Tokyo Mirage Session deck, with Itsuki as the main lord. Because all, like, even the base rarity cards, with the mechanic of them pairing up with their Mirages, they actually have interlocking art, which hopefully you can kind of see on the stream. It's so cool. It's like one of my favorite like sets in the whole game, and luckily for me because it's one of the cheaper ones too to buy online. But in this deck, I would say my prettiest cards I love are the promoted Itsuki and Tsubasa cards. Um, these are like probably some of my favorites, and I also have the signed version of them, which
Yeah, I
it's
remember SR Plus Itsuki. I pulled that before, I think.
it's I love these cards, and also it's kind of hard to see on stream, but like the texturing on like Cipher cards in general, it's like super good for a
So,
card game.
how I describe Cipher cards for, like, textures and whatnot, it's like, basically, the SR Plus is like Yu-Gi-Oh! Ultimate Rare mixed with a gold rare kind of border and signed. That's, like, the best way I could think of it. And, like, the SRs are basically just Ultimate Rare and Yu-Gi-Oh! Same kind of texture feeling. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's
And
beautiful.
For Flamingo's deck,
So for my deck, so I base my deck on my favorite character, which is Edward Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn.
Hey!
There we go. And well, unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of paired cards because he is a minor character. But these are my personal favorites right here: his promoted Swordmaster card and the Micaiah card. Yep. So the unique thing about the Tellius decks is that they do retain the Tier 3 class system, but they also have a separate mechanic as well, where it's something called leveling up your skills. I guess Kimmerson's a lot better at yapping about this than I am. But essentially, like you have to play certain bonds in order to level up your skills. For this case, for this Edward card, if I reach up to level 3, he can get up to plus let me see. In total, like plus 80 attack.
Yep.
I know for there was an Ike card. That was from a different. It was from Friend's deck.
Yeah.
There's an Ike card where if you play correctly, he can get up to I think it's like over 100 attack.
Yeah, just base.
Like base attack.
No support, no special conditions. Yeah, he's strong. He's gonna kick your butt easy.
But like, yeah, that's the thing with the Telly decks. Like the Telly decks, I think I don't know which one's harder for you to play. Like in which series?
What do you, wait, are you talking about video game or card game?
No, card game.
Card game. I think the level system's a bit much. It's a bit like harder to like understand like right out the gate. But I think it's
because like the Telly's one's like it takes longer to build up your strategy because of the whole leveling system that they have.
And by leveling, what she means is like basically you'll take duplicates of that same character and like kind of just shove them underneath them. So if I have 3 Edward cards beneath this one, he gets the level 3 condition. I think, or yeah, but looks like he can go as high as like level X. So it's like, oh, like just keep buffing it. So you can literally have like a whole stack of Edwards and just shove them underneath you. I think she hit me with like Edward with like 10 cards underneath at one point. I was like, I don't know what to do, man.
You know, it's all fun and games.
Is it? Not for me.
But I think the funny story with this deck, I think it was I was up against your Erica deck, which you didn't bring with you, right?
No, it's not here, unfortunately.
But one of Leonardo, because for this deck that I built, so Edward can get supported by this Leonardo card, which essentially means that as long as one of them is on the field, or as long as they're on the field like together, they can give each other like buffs of I think plus 10 attack. I just kept reviving Leonardo on the field to give.
I kept knocking this Leonardo out, and she just kept bringing it back. And in the meantime, the best part is that while we were playing this card game, we had like the Fire Emblem soundtrack behind us, and they just played the goofy music on me. While like she kept reviving this Leonardo, I was like, I feel so disrespected now.
And so normally, like we mentioned earlier, a match would be like 20 to 45 minutes. That match that we just mentioned, that lasted about almost an hour.
It's like an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, I checked.
Because I kept pulling that.
Oh yeah, that's a Fire Emblem Cipher for ya.
Yeah, I do believe we're basically out of time here.
Yep, we pretty much are wrapped up on our end.
Yep.
Yeah, so for everyone in our lovely audience here, and if you are interested in Cipher, I do have like a miniature list of vendors who are selling Cipher, whether it's singles or boxes. Give me 1 second here, and these ones I know for a fact are, I know Shiny V is, I know Secret Shop Cards is, and then I've got the boxes covered. The other 2 are singles. And I've also got playmats and sleeves as well. So if you guys are interested, that's 3 people in Exhibitors Hall that have Cipher for you.
Special shout out to all of them, truly, because they've hooked me up with a lot of cards and boxes too. So they're legit. They know what's up.
Oh, for sure.
If you guys ever get a chance, please try out the game. It is actually really fun. Like I know we explained, it does sound like it's a very overwhelming amount of information, but like once you get the hang of it and just get into it, it's really fun. Also, you get to play as your favorite, like play with your favorite characters,
That's the best part, honestly.
including the spider from Sacred Stones.
Okay, why do you keep bringing it up?
Or the zombies, or like the Risen from Awakening. You play as those
dude,
two.
the Risen deck is unironically so toxic, which is very appropriate for that deck.
Yeah. I think we're gonna head off because I think the next stream is gonna be starting pretty quick here. They're just waiting for us to wrap up. So thank everybody for stopping by, and yeah, Kimmerson, Flamingo, glad to have you too.
Thank you for hosting.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Peace.
Have a good rest of EmblemCon, everybody.
Happy EmblemCon.